Hi, my name is Therese McNellis, and I'm doing my student teaching experience at Sacred Heart Academy, which is a Catholic school founded in 1889. I have a group of fifth graders who are amazing, and I am so proud of where I got placed, and I'm just loving this experience so far. The lesson I chose to do today is social studies, and my classroom has 19 students in it. And there are two fifth grade classrooms that switch for social studies and writing and grammar. So I actually get to teach this lesson or social studies every day twice. So we just moved away from the American Revolution and are heading towards the United States as a new nation. So this topic is on Washington as president. And for an attention grabber, I really like to show them a video or something just to kind of settle them in and relax them, tell them all, just to kind of get up, stretch, take a deep breath, things like that. So the website I've been using is called thinglink.com. It's awesome. I am so happy I found this. You just type in a topic, so I type in Washington as president. It comes up with a bunch of different pictures. You click on a picture, and then you can hover over different parts of the picture, and it takes you to a variety of videos or different resources, stories, cool attention grabbers, games, all types of things, which has just been so helpful to really reach out to all different kinds of learners. So I started off with that. Then I introduced the chapter to them, and I really like to read in accents to my students, so the accent on this video didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to, but that's okay. It still is an awesome thing for them. They really it really engages them just for them to, hear something in a new voice and not something so monotone and boring for them. So I really like to try and throw my personality in there to make it fun for them. So anyways, I explained the activity to them in using direct instruction, and they are to follow the instructions and then use cooperative learning to help them follow through and stay on task during the activity, and then we all regroup together at the end to discuss what we've done. I have a copy of the lesson plan in that I also sent with you, and you can follow along on here if you would like during our lesson. But I really hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for this opportunity. I really appreciate it and hope it goes well. Thanks. Okay, so I found a rap on George Washington, and I know it's going to be funny because I kind of heard some of the music, and it's a rap about George Washington, so that's going to be funny. So anyway, so what I was thinking, Andrew.
My hair is like annoying me.
Okay, well we're not worried about your hair. How do you think George Washington feels?
Yeah.
Huh? Okay,
Andrew, do you want
so we're going to watch this, and I want you guys to pay attention to the words because you might see some of what they say come up in our story today. Would you mind getting the lights? Are we all ready?
Wait, close the door too.
Yep.
This is kind of going to be a little...
It's from Jib Jab. It's from Jib Jab? Oh, I love that.
Jib Jab.
Do you guys like Jib Jab?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah,
the thing where
it's-
you put your head down like...
Yeah.
I don't mean to be crass. I'm gonna take it to the lid because it's time to kick some drink as the king.
They didn't say it. They didn't.
Yeah.
Did they?
Yeah, it did.
Well, yeah, they... What did they say? They said that, I don't know.
I don't think they... Okay, just to be safe, we'll watch this one.
Yeah.
Is this from Key and Peele?
It's from YouTube. Is this from Jib Jab
Yeah.
too?
This was not
Yeah.
Jib Jab. This is like a reenactment
Administer the oath of office.
of George Washington taking the oath.
Aw, come on.
It's like an old guy. Wait, that was one.
You know what?
At least...
guys. I wish we could watch the rap video because it actually seemed pretty good, maybe halfway through.
Why can't
Well, because we don't know. I don't want it to say anything. We can watch the countdown.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
But anyways, when you guys go to do your reenactments, if we do it again for this chapter, I don't care if you're creative and come up with like a cool song or rap, but it has to do with the content. Would that be kind of cool to like come up with a rap or something? That, okay. All right, Madeline, can you get the lights?
Don't forget me. You're Washington. I got big teeth.
Sure.
Holla.
Hello. We watch TV if you listen.
Oh. I don't need to be.
Okay. All right, so let's all turn to page 362. And we're going to try something a little bit different today. Instead of just reading.
Worse, it's a big area.
No.
No, that'd be awesome.
All right, what I'm going to have you guys do is read, let's been up page 362. I want you guys to read with a partner. Listen. Or you can read individually, if you would rather do that. This chapter is pretty short. It's 1, 2, 3, almost 4 pages. It's not that long. And what I want you guys to do is I made these little flashcards, and they all have numbers in the corner. I'm going to take number 1, and number 1 says, Thomas Jefferson and Alexander convinced Washington to be president. So I would come up here, grab, you guys paying attention? I'm going to explain this one time. Come up here, grab the tape, and put it on the first little spot here. And then on my sheet, mine, that one doesn't have a question, but these ones, what?
There's a time
I know, but these are all different. There's 19 of them. So as you're reading along, these go in order as you read along. Let's say that Sabrina gets electoral college. She's going to say, oh, I just read about electoral college, and it's number 2. So I'm going to put that one right after number 1. You can put it on the top or bottom. Tape it up there. And then on your half sheet of paper, write down what electoral college is. And then at the end, we'll come back, regroup, and then figure out what everything means. So everyone is going to have one question to answer. And then you answer it on here. Keep the paper to yourself. And then we'll go over the questions after. So pretty much, you're not going to have homework. All you have to do is answer your one question, read along and figure out where it is, and follow the timeline. All right? So I'm going to mix these up. You guys can read with a partner if you want. You don't have to, no? And you guys can get to reading. Does one person want to help me pass out a blank sheet of paper? You are, Neil? Okay, thank you. Michelle, did you get one? Oh, do you guys want me to read the first part? I can introduce it in an accent.
Use a different accent.
Did everyone get one?
Do Jim and accent always goes out of mission.
All right, I'll do it differently. Did everybody get one?
I didn't get one. Do Jim and accent.
You want to? I would
didn't look at mine yet.
You want to? Who
Who
else wants to?
Second president elected.
We're in a group.
We got
All right. I'm going to read the first part to get us started, okay?
When was our second president? I hate my hair.
Good for you.
When was George Washington?
I don't know. No.
You want me to read it or no?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Wait. It's accent.
All right. I'm trying to think.
What's this paper for?
I can do Switzerland.
Neil.
I think. Try it. It might not be the best.
No, it isn't.
All right. Do you guys not want me to? Read it.
No Russian accent.
It has to be quiet. Okay.
Engineering the Spanish. Spanish. Not do Spanish.
Washington as president. It has been the most exciting time in your young life. You're a part of the group accompanying George Washington on a 235-mile journey from Vernon. You know, sometimes Switzerland people say their V's with their left.
Russians do that.
His plantation in Virginia to New York City is the nation's temporary capital. There he is going to be sworn in as the first president of the United States. All along the way, I can't keep that accent, I'm sorry guys. All along the way, Americans pour out of their homes to cheer him. In Philadelphia, crowds pack the streets, church bells ring, fireworks streak across the sky. Then, after you reach the New Jersey shore of the Hudson River, a satin-trimmed barge carries Washington on the final part of the trip. Landon, sit down. Colorfully decorated boats come out to welcome him, and the entire New York shoreline is packed with people. You can't wait to tell your friends back home all you have seen. All right, go ahead and finish up.
I just so enjoyed watching
Yeah.
So we're supposed to read all this, and then when we're done with the question,
You answered on the white sheet of paper, and then you go up there and put your question in order. And if someone reads before you, you can move their question around too.
the white sheet of paper.
You keep the white sheet of paper.
like,
Okay?
if I figure out mine before, like, I say number 2, then I just go up and put mine on the mark, like number 14 mark.
It's is it true that Mitt Romney is 66?
I don't know, but you should be reading.
Like,
You guys have 10 minutes
like on the radio.
until recess. Yeah, it's similar to that, yep. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed that lesson. The objectives were, number 1, to describe how President Washington organized the executive branch around the cabinet. If you take a look at the sheet I attached with the questions on it, the students who got the question about how the executive branch was around the cabinet, so the main leaders of the cabinet, they all kind of flow together, and so that the students that received that particular note card were not the only ones learning about it. I made sure at the end to review the completed timeline as a class and have each student raise their hand and give their response to their designated note card. And here's the final timeline. I also sent this with you. And the students did that part as a class, so that was how that objective was met. The next objective was to explain political parties emerged in the American government system. This was also linked together on the timeline. So certain students that had particular questions to do with this objective, they were not the only ones who learned about it, because at the end we all regrouped and discussed how the timeline flowed together and how everything made sense in the reading that they did. And they also were to read the entire section, so came across that, but that also, just to reiterate it at the end, is how that objective was met. The next was to describe the location and design of the nation's capital and how the nation's capital was decided upon. This was really cool. The students were interested to find out that astronomy actually has to do with how the design of the nation's capital was decided upon, which I was really interested to find out too, because of the longitude and latitude of finding the location on the Earth. That had to do a lot with how the nation's capital was decided upon. So the students really enjoyed this, and that was also one of the questions listed on the note cards for the students to find out and learn about based on the reading. To promote future growth based on this lesson, I really think that the students enjoyed being able to, read individually and on their own, and then find the question on their own. I really like to reiterate that independence for them, and I know how much they enjoy it too as fifth graders. All the time they're like, can we do this on our own, and things like that. So for future lessons, I really hope to allow them to grow as learners by doing things on their own and then coming back as a group and discussing things, just so that I'm able to assess them and see, is this working and what's not working and things like that. Strengths of this lesson, let's get that figured out first. I really, really feel like I've come a lot out of my shell with this class. It was really tough in the beginning for me to let my personality shine through, and I really like to joke with them and make light of things and make sure that they feel comfortable and that they know that there are no judgments at all that happen in our classroom, just so that they feel comfortable and that it's a good environment for them to learn around and feel okay, and just to not be afraid to ask questions or not be afraid to feel embarrassed or things like that. I tell them all the time there's no judgments, and to always breathe in positivity and breathe out negativity before anything that they're nervous about. So I've really been enjoying just reaching out to them and letting my personality shine through to them. Aside from that, I have had so many things I need to work on as a student teacher, and I'm learning so much along the way of this experience. First off, in that video lesson, some weaknesses were that I should have listened to the first video with sound beforehand, because I thought it was an educational website, and then found out that there might have been a swear word in it, which I feel absolutely terrible about, and I'm so sorry that you had to see that happen as well. But I figured that mistakes are only going to make us stronger, and that you guys need to see the truth. You have to see, people make, or student teachers make mistakes. That's what this experience is all about, is me learning and growing and just becoming the best I can be from the mistakes I make and moving forward from them. Another thing I would like to improve on in the future is having a little more preparation time. I really tried hard to videotape this lesson with them knowing about it, and that just turned into a disaster. All the kids were, going up the steps, like coming to the bottom of the camera and waving to it and things like that. So this video lesson was a third attempt, and I kind of just was like, you know what, I'm going to try and hide the video camera so that they don't see it, and so that the people I send this out to will see an actual class, what actually happens without the students knowing that they're being recorded or that they're being watched. So it didn't really go how I wanted it to, but that's okay. I am willing to accept constructive criticism and just be aware of my mistakes. And it's actually really helpful to look back and see things that I need to work on and grow and learn from this experience. In the future, to change this lesson and to make it a little bit better, I think what I would do is have the students maybe do kind of some sort of group activity instead of them reading just in pairs, because I did notice that sometimes they would just flip through the chapter to find the answer to their question and just answer it and then be like, I'm done reading, which, that obviously doesn't get them to understand all of the objectives that I had for them until the very end. So that's one thing I would like to improve on, is just to get them to become better engaged in the chapter. So maybe more breaks in between reading, not breaks, but just like little pauses of, okay, so what did you learn after this paragraph or something, just to be able to assess that a little bit better. Otherwise, I really hope that you enjoyed the lesson. I apologize for it being so short. It said not to exceed 30 minutes, so I figured that, any little part of the lesson would work. The first 20 minutes of my other lesson just didn't seem to work out, so but this one I really hope I hope it went okay. I'm sorry that there are some things on there that you didn't get to see that I described in this reflection, but I hope it was easy to follow along. And if there are any questions or concerns about anything, please let me know. I had a lot of fun with this, and I'm really glad I gave it a shot. Thank you. I hope it all goes well.